That's pretty exciting. Of course, my ears are, the ear is still a challenge. Damn it. I don't know why. So annoying. Okay. Streaming. Let's go to the YouTubes. Go to the live. As pretty much called the move for the day. You can see I'm in a trade. Relatively light position. 3 lots. Up about $1,300. Waiting for that test. Is it going to reach for it here, or is it going to just continue to do what it's doing, which is like pulling back to momentum? I mean, you look at chart 2, it's so obvious. So obvious what it's doing. We are streaming. We are live. Why is the, I don't know why the volatility is, or the, why is it stalling? All right. Oh, there it goes. Starting to rip up. Guess I should put some trailing stops or move my stops up. Let's do that. Ah, my ear. God, jeez. Dude, I'm literally pissed today about my ear. Like, I know, I apologize for complaining about it. I just can't ignore it. This is something I can't. And it only pops up when I talk, so I obviously don't know it exists until I start talking. Literally upset. Not upset, it's the only thing that I can't consciously control. Look at that move. Pretty much called it. Look, I should have been trading heavier. I just was taking a break from the market. Did buy on pullbacks. So obviously, why is it so slow? I'm going to pipe in another connection here. I don't understand why things are slow. Why are things slow? Why are things slow, man? I guess it could be the stream. No idea why things are slow. Didn't tag the weekly open yet. I called it before, so for anybody that's wondering, like, hey, did you call the trade? Did you outline the day? Absolutely was outlined. We already talked about it. If you're on pre-stream, we talked about it pre-stream or before I jumped off where the market was going. It's pretty obvious what it was trying to do. I shared at the beginning of the day too that look, holiday weekends, the market tends to like to end on a high. Tends to like to, reward. I don't know if reward is the proper word, but tends to like to generally end on a high. So, we're seeing that unfold now. Generally. What else are we looking for? NatGas might hit a low. Might be at a low. So we'll trade NatGas on this level here. NatGas might hit a low. I mean, it could still go lower, but it's right testing that $2 range, $2 handle. No one seems to be around today. Guess I'm the only trader around. I guess I'm the only trader around. Sure, there's other people streaming and doing their thing. That's getting picked up on the NG, kind of near the low for the day. Basically get out of this trade here. Not get out, but we'll see if it's going to rip up or not. Still waiting for the official weekly test. Hasn't happened. It's in the path of happening. I don't know. Microsailor saying that USD will be backed by BTC. Okay. I don't see that, but that's funny. I'll share this and then I don't know if it's news. It's probably off topic. All right, hey everybody. Google search to include chat. What's my target zone on the NQ? My target zone on the NQ is, well, right now, 2222. So, but I'm watching more the index. So, but 222 is kind of my target zone. And then I wouldn't short quite yet, but we'll probably short if it gets up to around 13,100. But it's pretty obvious what the markets wanted to do. I've been calling it all morning. I haven't been trading it with that conviction, except, well, I did trade it. Obviously, I'm in the trade now, but I didn't trade it with high conviction because obviously I would have been at quadruple or more size of lots than I am. But I wasn't in front of my machine to trade. I had to go over and enter on a machine up in my other area. So yeah, 222 or so. 222 or so. So Google really is moving with ChatGPT? Yeah, because their Bard solution sucks. You know, I don't know. Couldn't happen to a better company. I really, they've, if you look at the actions of Google the last 5 years in history, we'll look back and realize that it was not good for society. My personal take. I mean, obviously I use YouTube, and other stuff, but the second that they stopped using their "don't be evil," they started becoming evil. Where are we at? It's pretty much, if you look at chart 2, well, I don't, there's another day where we're going to look at the Rex Dog system and we're going to give it a B plus or an A today. I mean, I'll just share like this chart here. I'll share it publicly. But look at that chart. I mean, it doesn't get more effective than that. Look at that. Very clear where to enter. Very clear momentum checks. Look at this other chart. I'm sharing this in Discord, by the way. Doesn't get more clear than that. Really doesn't. Does get or doesn't? I probably should say doesn't. What happens when people fall in love with AI? A little late to that question, dude. There's already been a movie. Plus, like, we've already been thinking about it.
There's like multiple movies.
Oh, yeah, what's the other movie?
But there's that one weird one where,
Her.
like, yeah, and then there's, Doctrine? What's the phone one? Where that guy from Funny Fat Guy? What's his name?
I don't know. I really like.
Perfect. I think it's like where he falls in love with his phone.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I like the. Oh, what's the other one where the guy goes to the compound, and then he has to make the. He has to test the robot, the AI robot. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's really good. What's the one with his phone? So he falls in love with his phone.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. Love with phone movie.
It's not her. Well, that says her official.
No,
Jexy?
Jexy.
Oh, Jexy.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of Jexy. Interesting. I'll have to watch that. It's got about 6 point.
Funny.
Oh, 2019. I didn't even. What was I doing in 2019? Huh. Phil makes a top 10 pop list at work. His only friend is a cell phone Siri. His new phone includes AI helper Jexy, who improves controls his social life. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I'll go to Just Watch and see where I can watch it. Just Watch. Those are wondering, there's an app called Just Watch. Basically, what you can do is you can put in all your services that you subscribe to, and then I'm sure there's probably other, but what I like about it is that you can type in a movie, and then you can say, okay, where can I watch this? For free, or buy it. It's really only available on Apple TV. Oh no, it's actually available to stream on Netflix. Yeah. Yeah, so you can watch it on Netflix. Okay. I'll add it to my watch list. Who is that dude? That dude. Oh, that dude was in Pitch Perfect or whatever it was. That's the guy you're talking about, right? The main guy?
Yeah, Thumper, I think his name is. Or Thad, or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't grow up. Well, I mean, obviously, because of the generation that you and my daughter are in, Pitch Perfect played a role in one of your growing up movies.
Yeah, I just watched that thing on the ship.
Yeah.
I never watched it before, and then on the ship.
Oh.
And everyone had it.
Oh, so just
airdropped it to me.
Oh, Ex Machina. That's what it was called. AZJ. Yeah, that's a great movie. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
My first short film is based on a derivative concept of that movie. So, or those series of movies, I guess I would say. Yeah, it looks like a decent movie from looking at it. I'll watch it.
MQ is still long today.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got to accomplish its uncanny and upgrade. I'll have to see that one too. It's if you look at the index, the NDX, it's like the weekly open is like 13,082 and it's like right at 13,072. So it's just stalling right there. Uncanny and upgrade.
I gotta get the weekly open on there.
The what?
I gotta get the weekly open.
Oh, well, I just released that new indicator, the Rexdog key levels. That's a public indicator too, so that plots the weekly,
So,
the daily,
can I
and
find that on TraderView?
yeah, I released it this week.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
just do search for RD space key, and then it should say Rexdog key levels, and then that's the plots the previous day VWAP. I guess since I'm talking about it, I'll share it on the stream.
What is it? RD?
RD key levels.
Okay.
I'm trying to stay underneath the radar because I don't think they like the when I use Rexdog. Every time I use Rexdog, they ban that, or they say I break the house rules. And then I go through a series of republishing the script 3 or 4 times, and then eventually they just say, okay, this dude's not giving up. But what I've done, instead of doing Rexdog, I'm just abbreviating it to RD. So that seems, this script has not got banned yet. So now that I've said that, I'm sure there's probably trolls that are going to go there and report it. But, you know, I shared you, there's a couple mods there that just tend to like flag my new scripts that I create. They always come up with a new house rule that I break. Uncanny and Upgrade. Is that a movie?
I've never heard of that.
Oh. Given patience on this NG trade to work out, we're up about $190 on it on 3 lots. You know, with the NG and with CL, I spoke about this in the previous stream. They're assets that trade slow, meaning that, well, when they move, but then oftentimes they stall. And if you were to watch the tick values or just the time countdown values on these things, you would see, okay, yeah, I get it. Or not, I get it. I see it. You would see it in plain day that, you know, it takes a while for those to unfold. But they can be very good trades if you trade the system the way it's supposed to be traded, which is like I just did a level check on NG. So, you know, why did I didn't just buy because it was at the low for the day. I mean, that could be a good trade as well. But I bought also because it developed a level in chart 4, and then it was going to test that level in chart 4, and that's exactly where my entry is. Actually, if I'll put the level in so you can see it, that's the level. My entry is just above that level, so you can see my entry is just above that level here. I don't have the current price on here. What the heck? Up about 400 in that. Don't have a stop loss in it because I would have scaled in lower. I still might scale in lower. The only other trade on the NQ is, you know, if there's going to be a false breakdown here, the only other trade is literally, there's 2 trades that exist on the NQ, which is a pullback trade and calling the bluff that it's going to sell off from here because it didn't actually tag the weekly open, or wait for a weekly open break and then trade the extreme. But then what you're fighting there is you're fighting the fact that the market wants, I mean, it's been obvious since about 13,000. when it recaptured 13,000, that it wants to close above the weekly open. So any short, that any fade trade that you're doing, you're arguing how far above the weekly open does it want to close, or maybe it doesn't want to close above the weekly open. That's one thing you could do. I mean, one trade you could execute. You can say, look, I don't think it's gonna go above the weekly open, and then it's gonna fail. That's one scenario I could say you could trade. But I've been trading long enough that I've just learned that on holiday weekends, or these special weekends, you just kind of assume that the market's going to try to end on a high. It's going to try to, make a good statement. You look at the economic news. I've looked at some of it. I do fundamental analysis. I don't do it the day that it comes out. So what I wait for, just how I like to do fundamental analysis, is I wait 2 or 3 days from things coming out, and then I look at it, because then typically you're getting the reaction of the market. The other thing that you're getting is because 1 or 2 days removed, or 3 days removed, then there's correlations. Or what happens is that the people that actually act off this fundamental information, if they didn't have it before, they correlate it to their proprietary information, and then they start making moves. So it's that 2 to 3 where you kind of get some clues of whether or not the news from the fundamental information, like the jobs report, for instance, there's actually actors trying to move on that move, or trying to do anything with that move. So I guess the Masters is on. I could turn the TV and watch the Masters. I wonder what channel the Masters is on. I've never watched the Masters. But someone on Twitter said, sitting with a laptop watching Masters and trading, heaven. Isn't Ruby Rose a porn star?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought so. Why is she trending on Twitter?
No idea.
This is why I don't go to Twitter.
Are you streaming right now?
Yeah, I'm streaming.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Who am I talking to? I should know the voice. I recognize the voice. Just streaming.
What's your name,
Oh.
by the way?
Tommy.
Tommy? Alright, nice to meet you, Tommy. I'm Tony.
It's me.
Also known as Nick Yuli.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I won't go down the Ruby Rose rabbit hole. All right, I'm done with Twitter. That's my Twitter for the day. I'm tweeted out, or twitted out, whatever the heck the proper term is. I'm going to turn on the TV and watch the Masters. I have no idea what channel it's on, but I'm sure I could find it. I said I finally got some badass weapons in Far Cry 6, so I'm like, I want to go back to Ghost of Tsushima, man, but I'm just like,
No, I told you, I was grinding for Far 6 for a while, man.
yeah. But once you kind of get cool weapons, then it's kind of a much more funner to play.
Yeah, because you get a lot more cool shit, for sure.
And I stopped playing Harry Potter because I don't want to. I can't learn, or I'm having a problem learning the spell. I'm not adept at using right control and doing the spells.
No, I get it. It's weird at first.
Yeah, and then you have to coordinate with like what bubbles people have over them, right? So,
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm old now. I'm not a young little buck, and I can't just do young little buck. I can't pick up things quicker. But I'm having a hard time adapting to the play style of that game.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
Oh, okay. I'll look at Uncanny and Upgrade for the 2 movies, and I like, well, Ex Machina. I probably watched 6 or 7 times. I haven't turned on actual TV, like cable TV, in probably over a year. Surprised this thing still works. I don't even know how to use this thing.
Yeah, sorry, I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
Watch Netflix.
The only time I watch TV
What's
is,
Masters?
huh?
What's Masters?
Golf. Tiger Woods is back.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
yeah, I don't watch. Well, like, the only time I watch TV is when I'm traveling, and then we're like in a hotel or something, and like I'm waiting for the other people to get ready, because I'm usually ready to go. And then it's like, okay, I guess you guys aren't ready. I guess I got 45 minutes. So then I watch horse racing. What is that? I've never seen horse racing on TV. FS2. What is FS2? Anyways. Still waiting for the weekly open test. You know, once again, you got an opportunity to get back in there on the RDA, on the NQ, on chart 2. So,
That's what I just did. Got that pullback.
yeah, I think
That's
that,
what I've been doing all day. Is just catching the pullback. And just
yeah,
riding that.
you know, it's another day like last Friday. Remember when, you know, the message you sent to me was like, something like, I hate these days like this or something?
Yeah,
Or,
no, I just go with it.
yeah, and that's kind of what I said to you. I'm like, dude, you're falling into my trap as well, which is like, I hate these days too. Why? Because I'm a fader, and like the days, like fading these days, like you're punished, you know. So you can always tell the people that watch these shows, because I turn it on and the commercial is on some kind of like prescription or something. Swelling in the genital area. That doesn't sound good. All right. Ooh, doggy. Who's Ashley Benson, man?
Ashley Benson?
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
Is it like?
Oh, she's in Pretty Little Liars. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing. I mean, there's no trades on the deck. I'm on trades. CL is. There's no real trades because, you know, we're waiting for the weekly open. The only trade that's on deck is number 1, getting min and pullbacks. And then the next one is once the daily open breaks, it's kind of really right around that 222 level, 2230 level, which is like the fade area. But like I was saying before, like the mind, or the thought process you need to go through is, okay, well, the target has been to capture the weekly open on the index all day, and once it captures it, well, how much it might want to just close right on it, but at the same time, like, how much above does it want to close, or does it, you know? So like if you use a 60, you really got up to 100. So really the best short is anything above 100. So, and then we're heading into right now where we would expect some kind of pivot move, for it to pivot up, recapture the open here in the next 17 minutes. And then either continue, and it might just keep going. So, you know, the high risk trade is actually entering now on that break or on that, and you know, or entering on this last check. I didn't enter. I should enter again. I should have entered on that last break.
I'm just keeping my stop losses tight just in case it's volatility.
Yeah, there might be a fake out move to the downside. Fake, like it'll, and those are, I don't know what those are. I mean, meaning like, I don't know how traders get caught in those, because if you're doing the higher time frame, well, I know how traders, because they're not doing the higher time frame analysis and they're not understanding where the market's going. So what you might sometimes see here is like it'll break hard down and it'll do like a momentum check down to maybe 153 or 159. It'll just break hard and then it'll quickly be supported by the buy side. So I still have bad memories of, I don't know, probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe longer, or yeah, would be, yeah, of trading days like this and being on the wrong side of the market consistently. Like right here is a prime example on chart 2. It just lost the momentum. So what I would used to do is, I'd be like, okay, it's going to sell off now. It's going to sell off. And then I kind of start selling right here. But then, you know, not being in such tunnel vision that I wasn't focusing on the larger picture where the market's trying to go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was probably in that phase for like a good 3 months. Thought I was watching the Masters. What is this stupid talk show? What the hell? There it is, the Masters. Golf. Live from the Masters. Well, I haven't watched golf in years. Not that I ever watched golf, but like they really like upgraded their technology here.
I'm playing on chart 1. Oh, never mind.
It's holding. I mean, once again, go back today. Today was a B plus or an A day, A minus day for the system. A minus day for the system. I mean, it really was. It's just, it couldn't have been more clear what to trade. There was one zone where I kind of, go ahead.
Oh, just saying, like, it hasn't touched bias all day. You should be long all day.
Yeah. Once it decided kind of early on, once it decided early on, it was kind of, it took me a bit to recognize that, even though I was on my theory of what the market's going to do, right?
Yeah, I'm saying, I really saw it go long.
Yeah.
I was going to go against it, but I just waited. I just waited to go to trades until I saw it actually confirmed long. The market is off.
You know, you probably haven't been paying attention to what's happening in Paris, obviously. Or have you?
No, it's been happening there.
Well, I don't know if it's going to expand to the countryside of Paris, but, you know, or beyond Paris, but there's been major riots in Paris. Now, just today here, they stormed. It's, you know, stormed is the, they broke into, but stormed the BlackRock offices, which is, one of the major hedge funds in the world.
Oh. Damn.
But this has been bubbling over in Paris or France. It's kind of like a past. Have you been to Paris through your travels?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So, I obviously haven't lived there, but in my time visiting there and studying it, it seems like one of the pastimes of Parisians is to protest. So, like, yeah, like, they're always protesting something. So there's always something to protest. And then various times what happens is that their protest then gains steam, like now. And this protest is really a kind of financial based. Well, I'm watching it closely just because I think that it potentially is a tinderbox that could spread to other countries. So, yeah. Well, what they and this is going to start affecting everybody. They're doing pension reforms in Paris or in France. So, and all governments are going to have to deal with this here going forward. I'm sure I know we have people from Europe that understand Europe from a deeper level. I talked to someone too that from Germany yesterday, and just talking to them for a while, I learned some perspective on just different things. So that was interesting conversation. I'll like maybe this weekend I might share my feed or my overall assessment of the various things I'm looking at from a fundamental nature. But one of the interesting things that came up for me anyways is that the bankruptcies and small businesses have surpassed kind of where it was pre-COVID. So that's a early indicator of some kinks in the actual economy. But what I'd stress to anybody that does this or that trades, we trade charts. So, you have to separate what you see in the economy from your trading because they're often contrary to what you would think. So, if you do fundamental analysis, the reason why I do fundamental analysis is because I look at longer term perspective holds. I'm going to take some profit on this position because it's starting to sell off. But, that they are for dividend paying stocks. I'm also looking for what the next growth stocks are. I think it's going to be AI, but it might not be. It might be derivative companies. So I'm trying to figure out which companies are going to be the next growth stocks. I know everybody's trying to figure that out, but I'm trying to figure out what sector and what stocks do they exist now, or are they going to exist in the future? So I'm trying to figure out. My personal opinion is I don't believe they're going to be Facebook, Google, Microsoft. I think they're going to be players, but I don't think they're going to be the true growth stocks. I think you'll look back in 10 years and you'll say, okay, those weren't the growth stocks of the next technology boom. All right, so now that's what we're seeing. Maybe possibly there's kind of what, like I shared before, like a false break situation where it's pulling back. It's lost momentum. It's lost bias. Now you could trade this aggressively as far as like a pullback. But, the better trade is, well, you could trade it, but you need to be able to reverse really quick. Yeah. I should have just got out of those. And I should decide if I want to stay in this position and add. Question is like, we're almost there. Yeah, I would say I'd agree with the robotics, chip makers, bio, and medtech. I'd agree with that. Except for, not except, those are the obvious answers. So everybody's in there already. Like everybody's in that trade. So I'm looking for the trades that everybody's not in yet. And maybe, maybe it doesn't exist. No, AI. Yeah, AI, but even still, Steven Spielberg's pretty decent movie. Pretty good movie. Well, miners and metals is always though, right? Aren't miners and metals always a that's interesting. Yeah, I'll look into that. What I'm saying, or I'm trying to use my experience from living through and working in the .com era, and then watching companies like Akamai and watching Amazon and watching Facebook, watching all these companies that, I was aware of or I was mindful of, and then so I think we're in a similar space where during the .com era, like every company was out there doing the things that we actually do right now, meaning that there was grocery delivery companies, there was pet food delivery companies, there were these other companies that were creating, these that went to the .com era, like pets.com and other things and everything else. And the ideas were solid as far as like, this is where the future is going. They were just 10 years off because the technology wasn't there and the infrastructure wasn't there. So I'm doing a similar type of analysis on, like you said, like Gordon, you shared robotics, chip makers, bio, and med tech, and trying to see, everybody's in, I don't say everybody, pretty much everybody's in those trades already, because that's kind of where people project out. But I'm trying to take lessons from like, okay, what is the true, what's the word I'm looking for? Do we add here? I think I add here. I got to add on this pullback. I got to take a little risk. So yeah, the question really is what's the productivity is the word I was looking for. The productivity gain, opportunity of some of this tech, and then like which companies are positioned to be able to take advantage of it from a growth perspective, from a multiples of growth, right? Yeah, you could make a living just trading miners and metals, but miners alone. But, you just got to be able to, what you have to do is you have to be in that market, and you have to short, you have to have the ability to short miners. It's traditionally been hard to short mining stocks sometimes. So sometimes when you want to short miner stocks, it's been traditionally hard just because, you need someone to actually borrow you the shares. And sometimes those have low float. Sometimes those have low liquidity. And miners are, talk to anybody that's in the mining industry or anybody that trades the mining industry. Like, I don't know what the saying is, but something along the lines of like, the easiest industry to make and lose a fortune is mining. Something like that. There's like a saying like that or something like that. Once again, the trade is pretty obvious. There's a momentum check there. So I didn't add a lot. I just added one because we don't have confirmation yet. So we'll add another one there. Looking to scale in at the level check here. We'll scale in a little bit lower. Just a little careful if volatility picks up here, because it hasn't officially tapped the weekly open. Yeah, so, but you know, I don't trade miners anymore because I've been hurt trading miners. So because it's such an, you know, mining stocks is such a specific industry. Like, so for instance, I had a family member call me when you were here, Tony, and I think you heard the phone call where they were mentioning that mining stock. That was a mining stock they were mentioning. They were like, how do I buy it? You know, and
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah, and I said, and I pulled up the chart and I said, well, number one, you don't buy it now. That's the first thing. Number two, is it TLO? Was it TLO? Yeah, Talon Metals Corporation. And then I asked, well, how do I buy it? Well, you know, do you have a brokerage account? And then number one, it's on the Canadian exchange. So you got to figure out whether or not your broker allows you to buy Canadian stocks. And then I looked at the chart and I said, you know, the system, number one, you should be buying around 2.23 cents. That's really where you should be buying. So I pulled up the chart, and within, like, you know, 20 seconds or less, I said, you know, it's either wait for it to hit the lows, the low value range that's here, or, but this is a prime example where I think they heard, I don't know, who knows how they heard about this, right? But I think they heard, like, oh, you know, this mining stock is going to move. It's going to be a big mover. You need to get into it. I think the thesis they gave was they heard that they bought like a large tract of land or something, and it had big deposits or something like that. So, but you look at that chart, and I'm showing it on the stream. Look at the monthly chart. I mean, look. Okay. Yeah, it's Control R, right? How do I reset the chart? Alt R. Okay. So you look at that chart, the monthly chart, and look at that. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Dude, it's pretty obvious from the monthly chart that you got a big month that happened in January 2020. It ripped up. And now, I mean, it's testing the 50% of that month, right around 335. But the open of that month was right around 0.415. So I'm sharing this because we don't, in front of every gold mine stands a bummer liar. Yeah. So, but what I shared, the overview of how to trade this or how to do this, is I said, look, if you really want to do this, and I'm just sharing this on stream because no trades, but is that you take this, well, you take this range from 230 and you dollar cost average all the way down, and you create a dollar cost average, and then you basically, it's got to be capital that you can afford to lose because it's a flyer, and you sit on it, and then you literally just put an alert, because one day you're going to wake up. Two things are going to happen. One day you're going to wake up and it's going to be at 0. Or one day you're going to wake up and it's going to be at, 75 cents or something. So, that's an awesome win, right? But literally you have no legal insider knowledge. What I mean, you have no knowledge of whether or not this new area they bought or anything is going to do anything. So it's like, that's the way I would trade that. And I trade things that way. BioOC, I used to trade BioOC like crazy, and I've shared this before. BIOC, I don't know why I just started resonating with BIOC, B-I-O-C. Are they? Oh, Biocept Inc., right? So I used to trade Biocept Inc. I didn't short it, but I used to it used to be just a thing that I would just trade. Like I've traded it for years where, let's go to the 4-day. I traded on the 4-day, you know, and there's various other charts you could do this very easily. This is nothing. This is nothing. Like you can just do this. It's just simple. It's like so dumb. I say it's so dumb because it's just like it feels so easy. Because all it takes is just basically do it with discretionary money that you don't that you have no problem, quote unquote, losing. And then basically you just trade the levels. It's just so stupid. Like, so you, when it gaps down like this, obviously that's the risk, right? But what you have to do is basically whenever there's a 4-day level, you trade the level after it's developed from a long side. Because I could well, this Biocept's a little bit hard to short because you have to find, it depends, well, short at scale. You can short it smally or limited, but it's not worth it then. So like it's hard to find shares to short on this thing sometimes. And I know I'm talking advanced topics, so I don't usually do this to distract people, so don't get distracted. Anyways, this is a stupid strategy I trade all the time, which is basically once you have a 4-day level, you have a clear 4-day level developed. Once it breaks, I just start buying. Buy. And then I would then put, well, it depends what broker you're at. Some brokers obviously like I think Robinhood or something, I think they limit how long you can have limit orders on the books. Like you can buy here and then you can't put just a limit order where you can put they don't allow you to have limit what you can put certain limit orders at like 547 for instance. And that's what you want to do on something like this. You just buy here and then no stop loss because look, it's discretionary money. Let's say you have an extra $5,000 or something, or $1,000 or whatever. And then you buy here. And then basically you just put orders. You just bracket in your orders up to the RDA, or up to the fast momentum, up to the slow momentum. I don't even see the RDA in this damn thing. All the RDA is way up there. This barely does any RDA tests. But when it does, they're strong tests. And then basically you just scale in or you just scale out. And then when you get another level test, like I said, this is how stupid it is. I'm laughing because it's just like, you got to be patient, right? So for instance, what was the time between this trade and this trade? It's like once that level developed, what was the time? Well, I had to wait 106 days, right? So, okay, we're getting picked up on a pullback here. So it's just a matter of how deep is it going to pull back? And is it going to sell off or is it going to pull back? That's the question. So here, we'll see how deep it's going to pull back. It's 210. So it's doing a momentum check on the index. So we'll see how deep is it going to pull back here. I'll keep that in the background while we finish. So yeah, I had to wait 106 days for that trade, but it's not waiting. It's literally just putting orders in or an alert. And then when an alert pops up, you just start buying. So right now at this point, where did you have to wait? That level hasn't been tested until now. And then it broke. So that level tested, that level broke. So the better level was down here. But that level, you did get an opportunity to get out. You have to get out the majority of your position, because basically this is a reversion to the mean strategy. What do I mean by reversion to the mean? It's real simple. The mean is the momentum indicators, the white and orange lines you see here. So when you get far enough from the reversion from those, well, you're buying on a level break, and then pretty much the trade strategy is 90% of the level breaks give you an opportunity to get out at profit, some profit. Sometimes you get runners like this, gives you an opportunity to get out at some profit, and then also gives you an opportunity to get out at break even. And you'll see the other thing that I have on the chart. So you wonder, do I really trade this? Yeah, because look, I have a anchored VWAP all the way from August 2020, where I was trading it to look at the anchored VWAP and saying, okay, what does the anchor VWAP tell me? So right now, at this low, I mean, this might actually be a good trade on Biocept. Basically buy it, and then maybe sometime in the future it's going to go to maybe $4.30. You know, I think they do cancer research. I don't even have a clue what they do. I have no idea. I think they do cancer research, but I have no idea. I've never even looked up what this company does. I've just traded it. So, what is this question? I cannot find my problem of SI trades. 8 stop loss strikes I got. What are SI trades? Stop loss 8 SI strike I got. Is it going to do an RDA check? That's the question. The RDA check is way down there. So that's the question. Is the index going to do an RDA check? Could very well do an RDA check. Oh, SI. Is SI I'm sorry. Is SI a symbol? Is that a ticker? And maybe I should know that. I'm sure I'll probably look at it and say, yeah, I know SI. Or oh, silver futures? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Duh. Okay. Sorry. I wasn't making the connection. Sorry. Apologize. I was thinking Sports Illustrated. That's the first thing that came to mind when you said SI. I'm like, why are you talking about Sports Illustrated? Yeah. Well, I don't trade silver futures. I trade SLV. So I just buy SLV. So for my silver trades and actual silver, but I do SLV. So how I express my silver trades is through SLV. I don't buy silver futures. But, you know, yeah, silver's been on a tear. You can see here, it's about to recapture. Silver's about to recapture every significant high and low VWAP we have on the chart. So, you know, if it goes up and retests these and then holds, then silver's in for another run possibly here. If we look at the weekly chart, it's possibly in for another run to take out some of these highs around $27. But, you know, I've been saying for the last year and a half, every pullback I'm buying silver for a longer term macro, micro, whatever you want to call it, trade. Oh, stop loss. Okay. We're playing around with profitability right here at this entry here. I didn't, instead of taking profit at the highs when I saw it sell off, I said I'll just stick with this position and I'll add to it on a pullback. But the problem is this pullback might be much deeper than where I'm in 7 here. I mean, I can always scale up lower, but I want it. We're running out of market time, so it needs to start moving. If it's gonna, it didn't officially tag the weekly open. So if it's gonna do that, it needs to start sitting on it, or needs to start moving. So if you're new here, definitely want to join on Discord. You know, if you want to trade if you want a highly effective trade system to trade, join Discord, send me a DM and ask how to get started. or you can check the website at rexdogtrading.com. So far, we're up today about 8,600, but we'll see if this trade works out here in our favor on the long side. We're going long on this pullback with the expectation that it's going to rip some point in time here. But the momentum did shift on chart 2. So now it's just kind of a standard support and resistance play on. We do have a level that aligns with the RDA at 127. So in some ways we need to be open to scaling in all the way down to 127, which is way too much of a window that I want from comparatively to this position. But given where the trade's at now, I either get out and trade down to that and take the risk that I take a little bit of a loss here and then restart over, or I stay in the position and use my powder to basically scale in and then manage myself out of the trade. That's an RDA check there lower too. So that might transpire. Might be tunnel vision in my thesis that the weekly open wants to be captured here. Is there a measuring tool? No, they don't have a measuring tool here. I wish they had a measuring tool on Trade08. They don't have a measuring tool. Why don't they have a measuring tool? Explore community indicators. I'm doing some testing with some midpoints. Just sharing that. Interesting.
Order filled.
Variable resolution bid-ask delta. Huh. Well, we're close to in profit on that trade. Scaling in. See, is that a momentum check? We'll see if actually the momentum, if this is just an overshoot. So if this will look like a standard overshoot or not. That's kind of the question that I have on that trade right now as it exists. But we're in profit. Minimally. Has to recapture momentum on chart 2. We've got 38 minutes in the market. Plenty of time for the market to go out, capture the weekly open. Yeah. Great. Saw you. Welcome. No, I'll welcome you to Discord too. So welcome to Discord. Feel like I've seen the name somewhere before, but maybe I'm just coordinating you to someone else. I'm seeing some positive things on the social front. That's good. Oh, son of a biatch. Damn it, Jim. I'm a trader, not a doctor. All right, it's working on recapturing it. Ticky, 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 Rex. Ticky, cumulative delta line. Okay. So that actually might be helpful. This indicator might actually be helpful. I might have another indicator we might possibly add to the system because I've considered it before. I don't have a trading bot. Yes. But I don't have a trading bot. It's a trade system. And we trade cryptos with it. Yeah. I love crypto. My heart's in crypto, man. That's where my heart's at. Well, not my heart, but some of my heart's in crypto. I still love the little crypto bros and sisses. Told my nephew that, hey, you know, crypto's a cult. And then, you know, at first. And then he delved in and he said, yeah, it's a cult. It really is a cult. All right.
Yeah, no joke, it really is.
Yeah, so you saw it firsthand.
Hilarious, though.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you've got the XRP. Don't ever upset the XRP bros. I'm telling you, you upset those XRP bros, they'll pull up. They'll ask for the Addy.
The ripples.
Oh, yeah, the Ripple gang. They'll ask for the Addy and they'll pull up. Early on, I don't think I've ever shared. Early on, I got on the wrong side of the cripple bros back in, I think, 2018. I was in a crippled Discord and you know, there wasn't futures back then to crypto futures. So you couldn't easily short it. And I was like, oh, I'd love to, you know, this is perfect setup. XRP's perfect setup for shorting. Too bad we can't short the hell out of this thing. And like the whole Discord server just started like piling on me.
Oh no.
Yeah. They're like, we don't short here. We buy and hold. Time in hands. I was like, well, I know. Yeah, and then I didn't get kicked out, but it was too much for me to handle. I was like, okay, you know. And then one time, like, a real dip was happening. I'm like, this is the dip to buy. And then, like, everybody was like, no, this, you know, it's going to go down more. I'm like, no, this is the dip to buy. But, you know, like I said, that was, I still remember. That was back when I was, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I was a little, I didn't fully, not appreciate. I didn't quite know that crypto was quite a cult yet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know, you read that paper that I have, right? The Google paper?
Yeah, you talking about your Bitcoin one or your crypto one?
Yeah, the crypto one. So, you know, I should share that just because. How can I make setup like you? Oh, just join my training. Join my training. Send a DM and ask how to get started. Simple. You get access to my training, all indicators. So, you know, it's $9.97 one-time fee. I just like to talk to everybody before you get started, just to make sure you're fit for the community. And you know, it's nothing. It's not like a serious rectal exam or anything like that. It's just more of hey, you know, what markets do you want to trade? How much trading experience do you have? Just to kind of make sure that, you know, got the right perspective to trade our system, and then also just get to know you a little bit, and then just make sure you're just a fit for the community. So, yeah, my full system, I go through in detail how to trade it, indicators, how to look at the market, and then we've got a whole slew of new content coming that I'm working on. Excited about the new stuff because it's focused. No, I'll share this later. I'll share if people are open to this style of teaching. Oh, I'm only in one NG. Did I get knocked out of NG? I thought I was in multiple NG positions. Must have got knocked out. We're up 300 on one lot in NG, and then we're basically, you know, I don't want this position to go against me now on the NQ, even though we kind of know where it's going. But at this point in time, like, it might not go there. So I'll restart over. It's so late in the market now, or it's you know, we're trading on a holiday weekend. It's 30 after the hour. We should be seeing the movement now, anyways. So it should be moving if it's gonna take out that. Well, sorry, I'm not showing my chart. Yeah. I'll DM you directly, Bot Arms, because we have people on the server that actually likes to try to scam people. I'll share the crypto doc. I don't know why I don't have it saved. I know I have it saved somewhere here. I don't know, I've created so many things over the years, I forget the things that I've created.
Happened.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I did create that thing. I should update it.
might still touch the week over.
Yeah. It's not the MNQ, it's more the index, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, the index.
Yeah.
Flare runners fly.
Yeah. Well, oh, damn. Damn, son. You ballin'. Whoa. All right. Adjusted all my stops in about 8 lots. Should be in a little bit more. So this is the primer on crypto that I shared. I haven't updated it in a while. I'm sharing it on the YouTube. Is it going up or down? What, NQ? It's going up. It's going to test the weekly open. Going to test weekly open, NQ. Why we are long. It's almost a perfect, not perfect. I mean, that on chart 2, look at that. You know, once again, chart 4, I mean, almost, you know, just a little overshoot on the momentum check there. But, you know, kind of a perfect entry there. entry area for chart 4? Oh, USD JPY. Yeah, I can look at the USJPY. So, for those that are listening, if you do want to get in touch with me on Discord, here's the thing: within a month, within 3 or 4 days, you should have a 10,000 foot overview of the system that we trade. Meaning that you'll know all the indicators, you know what to look at, you know kind of the philosophy of the system. And then within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you should be already demo trading, if not sooner. And then your focus is to get 10 green days while you're going through the training. So I think that, you don't have to wait. I'd say you go about through 30 to 40% of the training, and then you start applying the knowledge to the market trading demo. And then from there, as you go, don't stop the training, continue to go through it. But then, there's a lot. Like there's the pattern library, for instance, and the pattern library has 2 hours of videos sometimes on them, sharing with you the 4 chart setup and how to trade them and how to trade confirmation and the highest probability trades. Well, for instance, like the pattern that we just traded to go long here is called the momentum check pattern. And that section, explains the momentum check pattern in detail on the 4 chart setup, which you don't see, which you're not seeing here. This is not the 4 chart setup. This is just 4 different tickers that I'm trading. Each one of these tickers, we have the 4 chart setup. The 4 chart setup is a superpower in trading. It really is. It's like it's kind of next level. If you're not using a 4 chart setup or something similar, and you're day trading, I mean, you can still be successful, don't get me wrong, but there's a power in combining time and tick charts. There's a tremendous power. It can't be understated or overstated. What was I going to do? I was going to do something. All right, almost there. This is going to be the weekly test. So now it's just a matter, can you stay in this trade long enough, or do you add? I'm not going to add here because I don't want to get aggressive. It is the last half hour of the market, so could volatility down and just knock me out. But it hasn't done the thing that it wants to do, which is basically recapture the weekly open. Who's this guy? Wow, watching golf on I can't imagine like on an 8K TV, but watching it on like a 4K plus TV is just like, it's so clear.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to golf this summer.
Yeah, I can't golf anymore, but, I've never really golfed. Why? Oh, I'll look at the USJPY, but I want to check my positions. Plus, I got distracted on golf, sorry. All right, let's look at the USJPY. USDJPY. Japanese yen against the US dollar. Booyakasha. All right. That's what she said. All right, let's see what we see here, son. Back in my day, I was trading the USJPY. Okay, well, it's going up. Why? See the RDA? See that yellow line? It held the yellow line. Where would you know whether or not it's not going up? 130 spot 507. RDA aligns with that. You got the weekly RDA as well. So this zone here is where it will start to short if it closes below that. The more it closes above this range, it's going up. And where is it going? What did I get stopped out of? Oh, got stopped out of some trade on the actual NQ. It's pulling back before it wants to get the weekly open. Is it going to do one of those deep pullbacks where basically it pulls back and then it rips up the last 10 minutes? I bet it's going to do that, you little bastard. So, yeah, pretty obvious that the JPY, USD JPY is going to 137 spot 278. That's where it's going. So the problem with it though is that you're in a mixed state. So the mixed state that you're in is that you're in what we call in the trade system, the Rexdog trade system, the chart where it sits here in this zone here, we define as a changeover state. And why is it defined in a changeover state? Well, because the momentum indicators that we use in our system are momentum short, prices below the momentum indicators. But the bias indicator we use in the system is the RDA, which is the yellow line, and prices above the RDA. So we're kind of in a duality, meaning that we need to realize that momentum is telling us that, okay, momentum is short, but the bias, which is the highest time frame and the controlling aspect of what the direction of the market, has held, and it's long. So momentum is short, bias is long. Which trade do you do? Well, it depends on your time frame, it depends on your trading style, but on a probability basis on how to look at the system and how to look at the market, the probability is higher at this point in time that it's going to go up and test the highs comparatively to go to test this low. Where would you expect a reaction? It's pretty simple. A reaction right here at this level, and then a reaction right here that aligns with this level here. So right around 133.780 and 132.411. So those would be short zones, but they'd also be zones where you would expect a pullback, and then on those pullbacks, you're buying on the long side. Yeah, for the long period. So I trade Forex, and I'm, I've refined my system over the years, and I'll update. So in my training, I have a Forex training. In my training, there's a Forex section. I don't advertise it like just because, I trade futures and crypto mainly, and then I don't share a lot of my equity trades except for the high probability equity trades. But in my training, there's a Forex section. And it includes, where is it at? And it includes pretty much applying the system to Forex. There's some special, maybe moving averages and stuff you'd want to use for Forex and stuff like that. Why is it underneath the BTC tab? Now, when did that get moved? So right now, it's underneath the BTC tab for some odd reason. But here, we talk about Forex fundamentals research, Forex moves and waves, the specific Forex EMAs to maybe use, and then Forex introduction. So I have that in my training. Now, the system that I trade is a derivative of what you're seeing here, where basically I don't trade with stop losses and I just scale in. So I'm going to explain it on a high level, but I just don't want you to trade it. So I would be going long here, right here, and then I would plan a scale in plan accordingly around this zone. I would plan a scale in plan all the way down to the RDA extreme band. I'd probably plan it all the way down here to the mix 200 on the 4-day. I'd probably do something less aggressive on this. That's what I do. Long term, right now, what do we see? If we look at the long-term analysis to answer your full question, let me look at the trade so everybody knows kind of where we're at. We're up about $1,200, $9,600 for the day, $330 on an NG trade. So we'll probably end the day above 10. Relatively weak day for me. Still a decent day, I would say. Yeah, so if we go back let's talk about the story of the chart. What happened here? What's this date? Okay, so in Forex, you do need to kind of do a little bit of fundamental if you're going to do long-term analysis, or if you're going to do long-term trading. So let's remove all our drawings. Okay, I got stopped out at the NQ. So the NQ doesn't want to go and take out the weekly open yet. So, it wants to continue to play around and be a little pain in the butt. Pain in the ass there. Okay, let's go here. So on the right, we've got the 1 hour. Let's do the daily. Let's do the 4 hour. And then on the left, we've got the 4-day. And let's just talk about the story of the chart. So here's the thing. With Forex is the only time I would do fundamental analysis, and these are only for long-term trades. So I don't understand TC. I don't understand what's your point of sharing this. Like, are you just flexing? Or like, I'm just trying to understand your shares. Trying to understand the purpose of your shares. Just being completely upfront. So what do we see here in FX? And is this helping? Is this helping my explanation? Or should I continue, I guess? I just want to check in. All out of NQ? No, I still have 2 lots in the NQ for $600. So I'm still waiting for that weekly open test. But, you know, obviously we're getting 18 minutes in the market. It might just rip. Okay. I'll continue. So, you know, there's 2 things you want to look at from a long-term perspective if you're going to trade Forex. Is that number one, when it changes over, so you want to say, okay, you want to try to figure out what happened in August 2021, okay? And you want to understand the macroeconomics of why the how do I explain this? So it's each currency pair, and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but each currency pair, you know, there's pegged and unpegged and everything else. If you really want to get deep into Forex and really trade Forex well, you need to understand pegged and unpegged. You need to understand the macro and microeconomic factors of both of the economies that they are connected to. Meaning, what is the interrelationship between the US dollar and the Japanese yen? Meaning, how much capital flows from because Forex has nothing to do with retail traders. Retail traders there's no purpose of a retail trader being in the Forex market. What moves the Forex market is large capital banks and large capital investors looking or having to exchange their funds for macro and microeconomic reasons. So if you really want to trade FX from a long-term perspective, you have to do a little bit of fundamental analysis from the perspective of, like, when you see pivots in the market, you need to understand or try to understand why those pivots occurred. So the first pivot that you need to understand is why on September 2021 did that pivot occur. The next pivot, because look at this, look what happened from that point forward. That point forward, we had wave 1, and then we had wave 2. It went back and rechecked momentum right here, and then we had wave 2, and then what did it do? It went back and rechecked momentum, and I'll just pull up this chart. We don't need the 4-hour chart. It did wave 2, and then it did the final third wave. Look at that. I'm an Elliott trader. Well, I'm a genius. It did a third wave using our Elliott wave theory, but it rechecked momentum. But the other thing that you want to do is you want to say, okay, what happened around October 2022 on what controls this currency pair? This is why you only want to trade 8 to 10 currency pairs. You don't want to trade all of them. Choose 8 to 10 from a long-term basis, and then really understand those 8 to 10, and you could be wildly successful trading those 8 to 10. You could also just be a straight-up chart trader. You don't need to know all this crap either. Because what do I mean by that? Well, you don't need to know all this crap. You buy on momentum checks right there. You buy on momentum checks, right? You buy on momentum checks. What do? It's pretty damn simple. A big candle loses momentum. Momentum shifts right here in this environment. What do? You sell on momentum checks. You sell on momentum checks. Now here you would have had to get stopped out, but you got another momentum check here, right? So you don't need to know all the crap I just told you. You could just trade the chart. Now, I believe you get additional information if you do learn all the crap I just talked about, or say, okay, try to do a little bit of research and say what fundamentally changed between these 2 currency pair relationships. Because what you want to understand is that did something drastically change in the world and the way that these currency pairs communicate that will lead that it's going to sell off greater, or it's going to maybe go and retest the highs. But from right now, where the chart sits, the chart sits to tells us that at least at a minimum we should expect a test up to here. We should expect a test at least 134062 at a minimum. Now, what does the chart from a level tell us? Well, it's obvious. 137524. And then where does it really get questionable? Up here. 141129. You know, that's now if it continues to close above all of these levels, it's going to take out this high level. So, remember these are 4-day candles. So the trade on the table is long. It's the only concerning aspect about being long here is that if we take off all these drawings so you can clearly see it, the concerning aspect and look, everything I just taught, everything I'm just talking about, I'm not speaking a different language to anybody that's in the training or anybody that's in my system. I'm using the fundamentals of how we TA in the system. You know, I could have looked at this chart within 20 seconds and told you what to do about it. I'm just breaking it down in a longer detail. You know, that's how powerful our system is. So where you at right here, if you look at this value channel we've got the high here and the low here, well, you're not quite in the middle, but you're kind of in the middle. Now, the positive of this from that is that it's held the RDA. It's held the kind of key level down below. We're stopped out of the NQ trade. So I guess it doesn't want it, at least right now. It probably will rip up in the last 12 minutes and just go take out the weekly open. But so, you know, you've got a 50% of this overall channel here that is going to be a resistance zone. If you want to look at, or that it's I call resistance zones reaction zones. Price is going to react there, but you can look at it as standard support and resistance. It's going to be resistance. You got another level here that aligns perfectly with our slow momentum. So, you know, you've got two resistance zones ahead of you. But the more concerning thing from a long perspective, you're a little bit better. If into next week, the start of next week, you were to start to go long on a pullback, you're at least at the lower end of this overall value channel, and then you've got the RDA. So if the RDA gets closed below, you probably should believe that it's going to sell off deeper. Now, it might just be an overshoot like here, where it just overshot the RDA and then found support. But, you know, you're better to kind of maybe start over down below. But, yeah, so the long side's the safer trade, I would say, from where the chart's at. But you're still in the middle of a range. What do I say when you're in the middle of a range? You have no edge in the middle of a range. It's going to go up and retest, or the NQ is going to go up and take out the weekly high now. We got knocked out of those trades, and now through volatility, it's going to go take out the weekly high, or the weekly open. Sorry, it's just going to probably be very messy to get there. Yeah, so hopefully hopefully I explained the trading or the overview of what that looks like through the philosophy of our system. So, was that all that clear? Yeah, no, I was kidding. So about, I've read Elliott's book. I was a deep Elliott trader. Yeah, so good. So we could talk about the true waves and everything else. I just, the reason why I ditched Elliott theory is just because it's arbitrary a lot. I mean, it's not arbitrary. In order to chart with it and understand the rules, it's just, I don't need it. The Rexdog system tells you what Elliott wave would tell you anyways. So, the only benefit of Elliott waves is if you really want to, you get deep into it, and I guess from my perspective, the only way is you get deep into it and then you say, okay, I can actually truly understand what wave you're in at any given time. I could just never figure out what true wave we were in at any given time, and I really tried. Okay, good. Yeah, so if you're new, you want to join a Discord down below. Tomorrow the market's closed. I think it's open part. Well, I think it closes early. I don't know what the exact hours, but just don't trade tomorrow. All right, no trading tomorrow. But we will be. I'm going to be doing something with a alpha member stream. We're going to test it out tomorrow, and we'll stream live for something I'm calling it the Rockwell trading session. And anybody that can tell me why it's named the Rockwell trading session, I don't know what I'll give you. Maybe a special treat. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. But before we actually do the stream, if you could share, if you could figure out why it's called the Rockwell trading session, why I named it that. Neither. What do I so a question on YouTube, what do you prefer, price action or indicator TA? That's a felonious question. I don't know if I'm using that term right. You use technical and indicators and TA to interpret price action, and then you trade price action. So they're joined at the hip. It's kind of like you can't survive without your head. So, well, not yet anyways. I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. But, you can't trade price action without TA. And yes, you can trade raw price action. I've done it before. I do it from time to time just for the hell of it. But when you add indicators to price action, what it allows you to do is it allows you to see patterns much more clearly, and it allows you to have higher confidence in your trading. When you're trading price action. At the core, what we trade is price action. It might not seem like it because you think I'm just trading indicators. That's because most people think we're just trading simple indicators. We're just trading indicators and okay, so Presser probably knows. Yeah, so I think some people probably know the Rockwell thing is easy. I think the young bucks will probably not know until I kind of share the theme song for and now I just kind of gave it away. But yeah. I'm still curious if the weekly open is going to be taken out, but no, closed really close to the weekly open. Fell short, kind of faked out the market. Well, hopefully that answers your question. I don't prefer price action TA or over. Is gold going down? Let's look at it. Probably down to 2010. I mean, if we look at gold, we look at GC. Let's look at the daily here. We'll look at the daily, and then we'll put the 4-day over here. Let's do the 4-day here. And then let's do the daily here on the right. But we're going to start with the daily. And let's look at GC. So what do we see right away? You should see something right away on the daily, if you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. We've got the momentum check down here right around 2009. The good positive thing is it held the weekly open. We also got a key level down here right in this zone. So, a deeper sell-off. So there's two areas, or there's a couple areas to watch on gold going into next week. You've got obviously the momentum check right here. The next area you've got is the momentum check right here, right around 1976. And then you've got the RDA down here. Hopefully those that are maybe just joining or, just met me or just started following us, you're seeing a trend. The system and the rules we use, you can throw any ticker my way. I'm 100% confident it will follow the rules of the system. So, it doesn't matter what ticker you throw my way. Maybe not even some obscure. You can do low float things. I don't care. Doesn't matter. So that's the areas that that'd be watching for gold. I would say if we get down to 1940, which I would highly, maybe it might get down to 1976. I would say if it gets down there, that might be the last opportunity to buy gold at that level. For what I created was my 10-year run. So for those that want to know a longer term perspective on gold, like where is gold going? And I didn't use GC, I used GLD for this. Is you can go to my idea on my profile. I'll share it too. My 10-year target for gold. I know some people are way ahead of this. Where are we at? Where'd you go, man? There we go. I know some people are way ahead of this, but I see gold going up to 5,800, 6,200 in 10 years. I know some people are seeing it higher than that. Just my projections, I don't see that. Now, if we look in here and see when I did made this prediction, so I kind of spot on. I'm kind of, well, not spot on, but I'm kind of in the zone, like as far as what I projected out time for it to get here and take out 2130. I thought I gave it a projection of you can see here in the chart. Maybe hard to see. That's kind of what I projected for it to get to 2130. We're kind of close to that time frame. And then I expect one more sell-off for your opportunity to buy gold at a really good price. And then I see it basically going up to 5,800 to 6,200, if not more, within 10 years. Could happen much quicker too. And then I break it down. I break down the whole concept of this trade, and I update it as things unfold. I only update it when things unfold and things matter. So I share the various phases. So I'll share this on YouTube and the Discord, and yeah. So we don't, we trade the system around here and we focus on that. When we trade the system, we do very well. When I don't trade the system, it's when I have frustrating days. All right, markets closed. We're going to get out of everything. We're already out of everything. We'll do a PnL check. I look forward to seeing everybody in Discord, so definitely join Discord. We'll share a PnL check. End of the day with 10,298. Decent day, decent trading day. Would have liked a lot more than that, but part of it is what you don't know is that my ear is plugged up, and it's the only one of the side effects of my treatment that is annoying and I can't do anything about, and it's hard for me to concentrate and frustrates the heck out of me. So I just been fighting that. When I'm talking, I can hear myself. So it's kind of like when you go in a pool or something and you get water in your ear and it feels like it's constantly stuck in there. I've tried various things, just nothing seems to work. And it's really a byproduct of the treatment I'm on. All right. So tomorrow we're planning to do this stream, the Rockwell trading session, where basically I'll just share just a little bit of the thunder of it. It'd be a trader that will trade. I don't know if he's going to trade demo or live. I'll let him decide. I believe it's a him. And then we're going to stream together, where basically he's going to share his screen. He's going to be trading and I'm going to be there. And then just kind of like not a fly on the wall, but basically just he'll be sharing his decision-making process. We'll be just going back and forth. No idea how it's going to go. I'm sure it's going to go well, but no idea. But what we're going to do first is that we're going to do like a test stream announcing this, because we got to figure out the tech just to make sure it all makes sense and it works and everything else. So we'll do a test stream just announcing it. It'll be about 10 to 15 minutes long, just introducing and everything else. And then one day next week, we'll plan like probably for 90 minutes to do that live, where basically that trader will trade and I'll be there, and we'll just be focused on their trading the system, making decisions, everything else like that. So I don't know, idea I had. I asked the group, I asked the alphas, you know, would anybody be interested in trying something like this? I thought it'd be kind of fun. And if it turns out something that people like and something of value, maybe we'll continue to do it and have, you know, traders come on and I'll be there in the background and we'll kind of try that style. I think there'd be something kind of fun to kind of try. So that's what I'm working on, and I'll be in touch with, and we'll see if we can make that happen tomorrow as far as the announcement and the short test stream, and then go from there. Everybody else joined on Discord. If you are ready to get started in the Rexdog system, send me an email, a DM, or visit the website. I explained it in full detail. It's not all fancy. There's no Lambos on there, so you're not going to see any Lambos. So if you need to see Lambos to buy a trade system that's highly effective and one of the best in the world, you're not going to see it. So to go somewhere else, if you want to see Lambos or Huracans or anything else, do look forward to seeing you in the next stream. I'll be around tomorrow regardless, even though the market's closed. We'll probably be more focused on crypto. Yeah, so yeah, that is an announce. So I'll just share this. That the stock bot did share. Yeah, Good Friday is a market holiday, but it's not a federal holiday. So there actually will be, if you look in the news cycle, there is news that's going to be out. So for instance, the employment data is out tomorrow. But the stock market's closed, and the futures markets will close at 9:15 Eastern. So that was shared by StockBot in our futures trading room on Discord. So thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. While the markets will be open, I remember this happening a couple months ago. While the markets are open, I remember someone getting on Discord and saying, "What happened? Why did everything stall? Did anything stall for you?" They didn't realize it was a U.S. holiday, and they were trading overseas. Check the economic calendar every single day. Never execute a trade ever without checking the economic calendar and the known news events. And the website I use, I'll share, and then we'll call it a day. Thanks everybody for being here. I look forward to seeing everybody over the evening here, and then also going in tomorrow. That's the website I use. All right, peace. We out.